Okay, the next chart, please. Philosophy. Philosophy. The Christian worldview. Basically, Christianity is reasonable. The Bible is reasonable, especially when you talk about creation by a designer, a creator. It makes sense. It explains everything. But we've got a question. The question will be answered. Some things are beyond our understanding, but Christianity explains things. It makes sense. Well, philosophy. Secular humanism, science measures reality. If you can't measure it, if you can't touch it, if you can't use the scientific principle, it doesn't exist. Marxism, I told you this last week. Thesis means the way it is. Antithesis is the opposite that's working against it. And as those two have the tendency to, the tension, it eventually leaps to the next level, which is the synthesis, which produces biological evolution. It's going to produce the evolution of thought. It's going to produce the evolution of government, economics. It's the way things are, the opposite that's fighting with it, or a difference that produces a new level. It's just chaotic jumps through history. No pattern, no purpose. Cosmic humanism, everything is spiritual. You think we're really here. You think the chairs are real. You think you've got a body. But as soon as you get in tune with God consciousness, the way that we are supposed to think, you'll realize there is no such thing as sickness. There is no such thing as poverty. There is no such thing as the chair. We're all just moving through life happily, just mainly deceived by Western culture. So, postmodernism, reality is constructed. There's no universal truth. Reality is brought together by, this is going to affect ethics. It's going to affect history. It is, what do you see? What do you think it's supposed to be? It's constructed by your local community. What is truth for me? What is truth for us? I know that used to be truth over there, but today, what is truth for us? What works for us? So it's everything in postmodern, it's constructed. There's nothing absolute. Next screen, please. Ethics. Christian worldview, our ethics, what's right and what's wrong. God is absolute. Character, his character hates evil, loves good. In other words, God exists, he is good, and ethics radiate from him. Again, we mentioned this last week. The Muslims, their God just makes rules. God doesn't make rules, he is. And so his character, his personality, is what's right and what's wrong. This is who God is. And so God is absolute, his character is absolute, his character is the source of what we consider right and wrong. We are made in his image, the world is made by him, his character. Secular humanism, humans decide. You can read more right here on the paper. They decide their standards and their values. It's like, because there's nothing established, you've got to decide. Again, you're going to have some things that are equal. Across the board, secular humanism, Marxism, cosmic humanism, postmodernism, they're pretty much all agreeing. Nothing's absolute. We have to determine it. It's just a matter of how you're determining it. Marx and Leninism, how do they determine ethics? Good is this. Communism is the goal. Anything that advances communism is good. Kind of like we're looking for the kingdom of God. To advance the kingdom of God, whatever it takes to advance the kingdom of God, it's good. But see, we're limited to God's character. We've got to stay within God's framework to advance the kingdom of God. For example, if it means killing Christians, if it means wiping out entire races of people to advance communism, that's a good call. That's a good thing to do. Their ethics are based on the advance of communism. We're not making these things up. It's not, well, you're just saying what you want to say. Read their material. Have you read the Secular Humanist or the Humanist Manifesto 1 and that Humanist Manifesto 2? It's there. This is right out of their literature. Cosmic humanism. The inner consciousness is your ethics. What is being told to you? What are your impulses? What do you feel like doing? There's no absolutes. Now you've seen, I remember when this hit schools and families, and they try to raise children this way. Don't interfere. Don't interfere with the little 2-year-old. Let him go. He's following his impulses. Yes, he is. Well, in my world, I was following the Christian worldview, and I observed his behavior, and I said, that doesn't line up with God's character, and boom! Brought him in line with what I thought was right. The cosmic humanist would feel, well, just to see what his little impulses want to do. Okay, you can raise your children that way if you like to, but don't bring them over to my house. Postmodernism, local community again decides what's right and wrong. Again, there's no absolutes, but they're all about community and what do we think, it gives them freedom. They're going to interpret history the same way. History was written down by other people who just decided what they want to record. Whatever. We'll tell you what we think happened. This is huge in historical teaching.